Live. How are we, lads?
ProEnzo, Vidz, CJ MOXLEY. Alright, we're just walking in now for the Dragons and the Bulldogs come back. The atmosphere! The crowd is electric!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, episode number 86 for your Wednesday night, May 10th, 2023. And I would like to just quickly apologise for the 10-minute delay. You know what? I'll happily say it on there. I have had the runs all fucking day. Like since 6 a.m. I reckon I've been about 8 or 9 times. So I've actually been pretty sick all day. Hopefully I don't have to go during the show because I'll be really upset if we do. But you know what they say when you got to go to the toilet, you got to go. It's just how it is. But hello to as always, ProEnzo Vidz with the manly gear in the background and CJ MOXLEY down the bottom with the Souths cap on. How are you, ProEnzo Vidz? And mate, Magic Round, what a weekend.
Oh, bro, like it was a weekend for the ages, I think. I think that was a weekend that we all should remember for a very long time. It was a pleasure, I guess, being back with you, CJ, and all the boys that came to Magic Round. It was an awesome weekend, and good to do the podcast back again for another week.
No, it was a great weekend, and it was great to stay with you up at the hotel there, ProEnzo. Where the fuck did we stay again? What's the fucking hotel?
Acacia Ridge,
yeah, the hotel there, the bar, whatever the fuck it is. It was beautiful, very nice place. And CJ MOXLEY is here as well. MOXLEY, how are you, brother?
Yeah, doing very well. Came off a really good weekend with you boys and a few of the others at Magic Round. First time there, worth the hype, and fantastic weekend. Still recovering though.
Oh yeah, it was a fucking great weekend, bro. It was one of the all-time great weekends of my life, especially obviously Cowboys having a big win, which was very pleasing. It would have been perfect if Manly had a bloody one, but we won't get into Manly. CJ's Rabbitohs had a good win. It was a great weekend. It really was.
It was great.
100%.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 86 of the Rugby League Breakdown podcast. If you guys are brand new to this YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to ProEnzo, Vidz, and CJ MOXLEY if you haven't yet.
Yep.
Their YouTube channels are in the description box down below. What a great weekend. A lot of people have been asking me, Nick, when's the next time you're going to another game? Because I had a lot of great supporters up there in Brisbane over the weekend, and I've had a lot of great support in New South Wales, in Queensland, and in a few other states. So I'm still trying to work everything out, but I'm probably I might go to the Coffs Harbour game, Sharks versus Newcastle. That's next weekend. I'm going to try and go to that. I'm going to try and go to Eels versus Cowboys. I'm going to try and go to a few games in Queensland. I'll go to Titans and Cowboys when we play them, clearly. Dolphins, Cowboys in Brisbane. I'm going to try, because CJ, you might go to the Souths game, right?
Which one? Against the Titans?
Gold Coast Souths game.
Yeah, see how we go. Eh? Yeah, should be.
There's a few games there that I'm going to be at, so see how we go. All right, we've got a bit of a crowd in the live chat here now. Hello to Luke Melbourne Storm fan, Cody Games PlayStation, Jim the Chooks fan, Daniel Bate from the UK. Shout out to Daniel and all the UK followers. Hello. Jason Reader is always here. Hello, Jason. We've got Nathan B. Moore there from beautiful Taree. Moxie's just had a dodo problem. We'll get him back in a moment. SS Storm fan, Viking King. Hello, everyone. Just Rabbitohs 23. Who else? We got everyone rolling in the live chat now. It's good to see a very nice crowd building up here. All right, let's get into the topics, boys. Let's rip into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do this.
We're going to start with topic number 5, and it's pretty simple. Obviously, we were all there over the weekend, and I've been to a couple of Magic Rounds now. Should Magic Round stay in Brisbane? Now, ProEnzo and CJ, you guys attended Suncorp Stadium for the very first time over the weekend. I'd like to ask you, what did you make of Suncorp Stadium? And do you think Magic Round should stay at Brisbane? I'll start with you, ProEnzo. Vidz.
Well, I think after being there for the first time and experiencing the atmosphere and the build-up to how it is in Brisbane for Magic Round, I think it's a real success, and I think that's why it's been always been at Brisbane for Magic Round ever since it started. I think it's the right place to host it, and I think there wouldn't be any other place that I would like to have it, to be honest, because I think after being there live for the first time, I think Magic Round in Brisbane makes sense. I know there's talk about moving it to New Zealand or Sydney for a year, but honestly, as of right now, I like to see it just stay in Queensland. I think in Queensland, it just feels so much more like a footy atmosphere, because the Caxton's right there. You get to walk up through there and hang out with mates afterwards. And I think there's a lot going on at Suncorp and in Brisbane. There's always that vibe that a lot's going on. So personally, for me, I'd keep it at Suncorp Stadium though. I'd keep it there for now.
What about you, CJ? Would you leave it in Brisbane, or would you like to see Magic Round travel to other places?
Yeah, first time at Suncorp, and I think it should stay there. The atmosphere is footy vibey. It's just, after being there, I wouldn't want it to be changed. It was a success. Everything went to plan. It was very well. It's not a bad seat in the house. It just, the vibes with the Mexican wave, all that sort of stuff.
Oh.
Footy community coming together. Yeah, it has to stay in Brisbane. I can't envision it being elsewhere. Keep it at Suncorp. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, look, I'm a very good person to talk to about this because I've been to every Magic Round except the first one. I didn't go to the one in 2019. That's the only one I haven't gone to. 2020 was obviously cancelled due to the virus. 21 was great. 22 was good, even though it was wet. And obviously 23 was great as well. It did rain about 5 minutes before the Roosters Cowboys game, and then it stopped for a while. So the weather was great. Look, I think eventually it will probably be moved to a different venue, such as New Zealand. But me personally, I would never, ever move Magic Round, ever.
No.
Don't. I think, like how the NRL Grand Final always stays at a core stadium. You don't move that unless something happens. I think Magic Round should be should be the same. Don't move Magic Round unless you absolutely have to. I think Magic Round is one of the biggest successful things the NRL have on the NRL calendar, and taking it away from Brisbane and moving it to places like New Zealand, Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, places that's been talked about, it's not really that big, it's not really going to work. Like New Zealand, I could see it working. Sydney, maybe it could work in Sydney. It really depends where. If it was at Allianz, it could work. If it was at a cool stadium, it could work. Outside of those two venues, you couldn't go anywhere else. You wouldn't have it at the SCG. You wouldn't have it at a suburban ground. But it wouldn't be as good because a core stadium and Allianz, you haven't got Caxton Street. You haven't got that vibe. And I mean, boys, we know from experience, it's hard enough going to Allianz for just one game and getting in and getting out with the trams and the chaos it is. So I think if it ever moves to Sydney, it has to be a core stadium. I know a core stadium can be shit. I've been there a couple of times now myself. But personally, leave it in Brisbane. I think it's the best venue for it. And it's a Magic Round concept. It's a Brisbane thing. I would never leave it. I would never move it.
No,
Yeah.
it's
I
it
agree.
stays in Brisbane. After being up there, I have no doubts it has to stay up there. It just has to be there every year.
Do you think Magic Round would work in a place like Perth, for example?
Nah,
Look, it has the stadium, obviously, but not. I don't think the area works for something like Magic Round. As big as that, it doesn't work in Perth.
I think if you have an NRL stadium that can't fit 45,000 people, I don't think you should be allowed to host it.
just
Yeah.
has to be in Brisbane, mate.
Because
Everything.
I know Mount Smart Stadium can average, I think it's 40,000.
Yeah, but it's just no, it doesn't have the same vibe. I think.
And Eden Park, what's Eden Park average?
No, not 40,000. I don't think. Anyway.
I don't know. But look, at the end of the day, I think we all agree Magic Round must stay in Brisbane. I can't name any other venue that would have a Magic Round outside of Brisbane that would be just as good.
Yeah. Suncorp's a lock.
If your stadium can't hold 40,000, you might as well forget about it.
Yep. No, you're right. No, it stays in Brisbane. I think.
I don't think,
Look,
personally, I don't think a core stadium would be too bad, but just you're relying on them fucking trains, and there's always train delays, always fucking bullshit that happens. You guys would know better than me, especially
something wrong with it. Yeah.
Always some bullshit happening.
Yeah.
Always is.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's a lot of transport to get around, buses, Ubers, trains, but you can't always rely on trains. We all know what Sydney's like with their fucking trains, especially on the weekends.
Yep. Nah, dealt with it so much. I think the Brisbane transport wasn't even bad either, so that helps.
No, it's easy to get around in Brisbane. Very easy.
Yeah.
So no, I think Magic Round should stay in Brisbane. I'm with you, fellas. I wouldn't move it until you have something that's going to be just as good. Really, to be fair.
Yep. You got to have the perfect replacement if you're going to move it.
Let's move on. Topic number 4, fellas. This is a little bit controversial. So the New Zealand Warriors CEO, Jason Paris, accuses the NRL of having some bias against the Warriors. Now, I believe he came out and said this. Might have been Sunday or Monday. It was one of those 2 days. Before I get to you fellas, Mr. Lachlan with the $2 super chat just quickly. Nick, your channel gets an A+. It's awesome, bro. Thank you, Mr. Lachlan, for the $2 super chat. ProEnzo, what's your take on this? Obviously, the CEO for the Warriors is not, he's not saying the referees are cheating, but he reckons there's a bit of bias against the Warriors. What's your take on it?
Well, there's always been a conspiracy about the Warriors and how they're like sponsored by Vodafone, and because that clashes with Telstra. So there's always been that sort of rumor that creates the rift between the Warriors and Vodafone and NRL and Telstra. So that's where it's like all started, this whole sort of talk. But as for like the calls that have been made against the Warriors, and I think that's where Jason Paris is coming from. Some of the calls that are given against the Warriors and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a weird one because I think everyone gets the rub of the green and the bad calls as well. So not just the Warriors, everyone gets that sort of call, I guess. But I don't know. It's a really tough one. I think I would never imagine that referees or the NRL would purposely single out the Warriors. Like that's stupid talk if that's the case. Like I don't believe in any of that. But yeah, I don't think Jason Paris is going the right way about it. I don't think what he's saying is adding up because everyone, like I said before, everyone gets the good and bad calls. So it is what it is. Going to move on and play on, I think.
It's a tough one. I feel so sorry for the Warriors supporters. They deserve better than what they're getting. Some of the referee decisions against them, as of late, have been disgusting. Go back to Anzac Day against the Storm. Remus Smith knocks on. Nick Meaney scores. That pretty much robs the Warriors. So before I go to you, CJ, just quickly, Mr. Lachlan with another super chat. Jesus Christ. $5 super chat. 4 out of the 5 Warriors losses this year have been controversial. I feel a bit bad for them. The only loss they've had without controversy was in round 6. Does anyone remember what that game was? Round 6.
Can't
They
figure
got
it out.
hammered, didn't they?
No, I don't actually.
Round 6.
Who did they get beat by that round?
Oh, was it?
Mr. Lachlan, thank you for the $4.
I can't even remember.
Round 6. Oh, the Knights game.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't know, bro. This is a tough one, and the CEO of the Warriors is taking a dangerous path here. What's your take on it, CJ?
Look, I don't believe in match fixing in this sort of context anyway. But I'm not going to deny that there are some calls against the Warriors that are obviously pretty fishy. It's a bit strange. The inconsistencies with some other teams compared to the Warriors is slack. I don't think there's a bias, but there's definitely some. It's just, I don't want to say bad luck because it happens a bit too often. But look, the Warriors obviously do have a case to feel this way, and if they do have a strong point, they investigate it because I don't blame them, especially after the last 2-3 weeks.
You know what? This might sound ridiculous to some people, but I think there is a conspiracy against the Warriors. It doesn't add up to me.
I don't know, bro.
Every fucking week, they have something bullshit go against them that leads to a try, or it leads to a penalty goal, or it leads to some bullshit where the Warriors are under the pump for 3 or 4 sets. Honestly, Warriors supporters deserve better. Their fans should feel hard done by. Yes, I know both. I get every club gets the rub of the green. Like I understand where ProEnzo's coming from with the rub of the green stuff. Like, for example, probably not the best example, but Cowboys were hard done by in the finals for 2 or 3 years in a row, and then last year we had a very controversial call go our way against the West Tigers, and then we had one go against us against the Eels in the prelim. So again, it does happen and it doesn't happen, but it just, I don't know. Like, why do the Warriors get all these calls? Like on the weekend against Penrith, they had some shockers go against them that were ridiculous. And obviously, the one that stands out the most is Anzac Day against Melbourne. Like that was the most common knock on you've ever seen from Remus Smith.
Yeah.
I don't blame him, the Warriors CEO, for coming out and accusing them about, it's a bit biased. Is it because they're a New Zealand rugby league team? Like, is that what it is? Because it just doesn't add up to me, man. I feel sorry for their supporters.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say conspiracy. I don't really.
It's I fucking tell you what, I reckon it is a conspiracy.
Fan of using that word, but they have the right to feel that way, and if they want,
I'm doing a live reaction to the Warriors Bulldogs game on Friday night, and I'm telling you, I'll be watching very closely how many fuck calls go against the Warriors. I'm going to write down a list. I'm going to write it down.
Well, look at their next 4 games. 17 days.
There's no conspiracy. I don't believe in any.
No, bullshit. There's a conspiracy.
Look,
I
don't think there's a conspiracy, but there are.
I'm disagreeing with you. Hashtag Warriors conspiracy.
But now they're just going to use that excuse after every loss.
I know there's a lot of people on social media, they always make jokes online and say, Warriors rolled referees against Warriors or the Wires. You know what? I actually believe them. They are always getting fucked over by the refs.
You genuinely think there's a conspiracy theory?
Against Penrith from the weekend, they had some shocking calls go against them.
Yeah,
made me sick.
Happens every
Made
week.
me physically sick.
Go move on, I guess.
Boys, what about this? Warriors Panthers game of the weekend. Jackson Ford, hip drop. He gets binned for a so-called hip drop. Doesn't even get suspended. He gets fined. So that just proves that was bullshit.
Yeah, because they're fucking idiots.
It's happened to other clubs as well, like bad calls like that.
There is a conspiracy against the Warriors.
No, there's not.
I'm telling you, there's a conspiracy.
There's a
All
conspiracy against the Tigers. No.
Probably number 3. Origin headaches. I'll tell you what, we are exactly 3 weeks away from Origin number 1 live in Adelaide. Obviously, it's going to be on a Wednesday night. It's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait for Origin, boys. I honestly cannot wait. It's one of the biggest times of the year to be a rugby league fan. New South Wales versus Queensland, state versus state, mate versus mate. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with Queensland. Now, I did some research today, and I was looking at some of the big-name forwards that are available for Queensland. And you know what, mate? When it comes to the front row and the middle forwards for Queensland, they have a huge, huge headache. I don't think Queensland have been this stacked in forwards in a long time. So let me go through some of the forwards for Queensland that are probably in contention to play for Queensland. You've got Lindsay Collins, Reuben Cotter, Christian Welsh, Tino Fasul-Malawi, Thomas Flegler, Corey Hallsborough, Jai Arrow, Corey Jensen, Cohen Hess, Jared Wallace, Moe Fodawaker, Josh Papali, Paddy Carrigan, and Tommy Kilbert. They're all middle forwards. How do you pick a team? They are stacked.
I don't even think most of them deserve to be in talks of Origin, to be honest.
I reckon majority of them deserve a chance. Like, I reckon most of them are in good form.
It's good depth, but I think just most.
They've got huge depth.
The depth is good.
Like, I'm looking at it now and I'm going, all right, so Collins probably gets in the team. Cotter gets in the team. Welsh, Tino, Carrigan will be lock. And then you're probably looking at maybe a Corey Horsburgh on the bench. But then you're like, you look at it, you know, Moe Fodawaker's not doing anything wrong at the Gold Coast. Gold Coast is playing really well. Papali's got experience. Jai Arrow's playing good footy at Souths. Jensen deserves a debut at some point. Hess is going good. Flegler's playing great footy. Tom Gilbert won't let you down. Mate, Queensland are fucking stacked in the middle. ProEnzo and CJ, as a New South Wales supporter, this 4-pack fucking terrifies me.
Well, there's like CJ said, there's a lot of depth there. But it just depends on what players actually do deserve an opportunity in that team or not. I think guys like Tom Gilbert have had a breakout year, definitely deserve a call up. Kafushi's been great for the Dolphins this year. I guess guys like Josh Papa.
I was about to get to the back rows. Now, the back row option, there's probably 3 guys. You got David Fafita, Felice Kafusi, and Kurt Capewell. Now, Nanai won't be available for game 1, from what I understand.
Nope.
Because he's suspended. So Nanai's probably out of Origin 1. He may come in Origin 2 if his form improves at the Cowboys. But in the back row, boys, Fafita, Kafusi, Capewell, hell, you could even throw bloody Tom Gilbert in there if you wanted to. Queensland have got depth pretty much in every position in the forwards.
Yep, they're lucky in that position. It's definitely going to help them in case of, I'll touch wood when I say it, injury or suspension. So the depth comes in handy for Queensland, and Billy Slater will definitely have a headache selecting the best of the best there.
I'll tell you what's crazy about Queensland, boys. There's going to be probably 3 or 4 forwards for Queensland that deserve an Origin game, but they're going to be left out because look at how many players they've got. Look at all the quality.
Yeah, they're gonna have to work for it. It's because
if you have one bad game in Origin 1, if you have a mid game, you will be replaced game 2, no problem. Like it's insane.
We'll see what they do, I guess.
It's hard to think about it, but yeah, their team is stacked. There's no doubt.
Team is stacked. Now on to New South Wales. Origin headaches. Obviously, we've got to talk about Tommy Turbo. I don't know if Tommy Turbo is going to be selected. I'm a little bit concerned, boys. Now, I'll get to the live chat in a moment. I know there's a super chat. I'll get to that in just a moment. Tommy Turbo. I don't know if he should even be in the New South Wales team at the moment. His form isn't good. He looks to be holding back. He looks to be holding off. It's like he went to America, got his leg fixed up, he's come back, and it's like he doesn't want to stretch out and just get back into it. I don't know. ProEnzo, you're obviously Manly supporter, and you know a bit more than me about Tom's health and whatever, but, bruh, it's a risk, especially if it's not 100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't select him either, to be honest. I think this year, I think he should do what Latrell did, what Latrell did last year. I think just have the year off, don't play Origin, and get to full fitness and go from there. I think that's the approach Tom should take. I don't know. Look, he's not really looking injured. I don't think that's not the case for me. It's just that I don't think he's running fluently because of the way he has to change his running game, because he doesn't, run off the right foot. Like he has to change the way he runs off the left foot. So it's going to be hard to adjust to new running mechanics, and that's probably why he looks very, very unfit out there. But I don't know. I think he has to have the year off from Origin and needs to work back at clubland for Manly. So, yeah, I wouldn't pick him either.
It's a tough one because I don't know if he's injured or I don't know if he's holding off. I don't know what it is. No one really knows. I mean, like I'm watching him play on the weekend. I'm going, he's having a crack. And then I'm like, why isn't he running at full belt? Like, what's going on? It's
running mechanics.
A tough one. Just quickly.
He's too fast.
Personally, I wouldn't pick Tom at the moment.
Nah, neither will I. I think Tommy Turbo, yeah, he needs either this game off or just a series off. I guess it kind of helps New South Wales a bit. It opens a spot for Campbell Graham as well.
Yeah.
So I think it helps in that case. But about Tommy Turbo, yeah, look, I think he'll be fine.
CJ, just quickly, if Tommy Turbo has a big game on the weekend against Cronulla, say scores 2 tries, 175 metres, a try assist. If Tommy Turbo plays like we know he can, would you pick him then?
Have to.
See how he goes the week after.
I think if Tom gets through this weekend, I reckon he'll be picked. Because you look at it, Manly in round 12 play on the final game of the round. And by then, Brad Fittler probably would have already picked the team. We would have picked at least the squad. So I think this weekend's a huge game for Tom. He needs a big game.
It's hard to see Brad Fittler leave Tom Turbo out without Turbo making that call himself if he wants to pull out or not, because it wouldn't be on Freddie to pull him out, I don't think. You would think Tommy Turbo would have the relationship with Brad Fittler and say, you know what, if can I play? If I can do the job, I'll be there. If I can't, I'll pull out.
Turbo should make a call. Yep.
He'll make the call. Anyway, New South Wales have got some headaches. And just quickly before we move on, boys, Nico Hines. Forget his game on the weekend against the Dolphins. It was a one-off bad game. If Nico Hines isn't starting 5'8", New South Wales have got some dumb. That'll be the dumbest thing of all
time. Yeah, I think he's definitely in competition with Luai for that 6 jumper, but yeah, I don't know. I think you got to pick players based on form and how well they've gone this year. I know that it's probably going to be likely that Freddie will pick Luai. I just think he will for some reason, but if we're going on form this year, I think Hines has to be the 6 because look, I know Hines is probably going to be in that squad somewhere, but needs to be starting. So it's clear as day. Like obviously Luai is a good player in his own right, but Hines outplayed him, so it's simple as that.
I gotta say this. Luai has done nothing all season. Hines is the reigning Dalian medalist. He's versatile. He can play fullback. He can play 5'8". Nico Hines is probably the best player in the game right now. He's probably the best player in the game.
He's up
You
there.
can't go against him. The combinations with New South Wales, I don't give a shit. New South Wales lost Origin last year. We need change. We need new leadership. We need new direction, new style of footy. We can't be living off this Penrith fucking fantasy anymore. Penrith are not going great. They're playing really poor. They're sloppy ass. They haven't been convincing. Panthers' last convincing win was what? The Canberra game in round 5?
Yeah, that's about it.
They haven't
No,
been
against
that
Darcy
convincing.
Penrith, I think.
Oh, yeah, the Manly game. When was that? Round 7, round 6?
Round 6, yeah.
They haven't been convincing since. You've got to pick Nico Hines. He has to be in the team.
Well, Hines is the
Luai.
consistent one.
Luai
So
hasn't done anything this year at all. He's been terrible.
if Freddie has logic, you pick Hines. So
Mate, if I pick Luai game 1, I promise you we'll lose.
they probably
Yeah,
will.
won't shock me, unfortunately, but Hines has to
We'll
be
fucking
there.
lose. Anyway, let's move on. Topic number 2. Some interesting news coming out of Mitchell Pearce's mouth the other week. Mitchell Pearce has come out and said that he's open to an NRL return in the near future. So 2024, Mitchell Pearce could be back in the NRL. Now, this would be very interesting. Obviously, he is getting on a little bit. He would only be a short-term halfback for a club. He might have 2 years left in him, to be honest. ProEnzo, Pearce back to the NRL. Do you think it's a good thing? And what club do you think he should go to if he comes back?
No, it's not a good move at all. I don't think he's got anything to offer in the game anymore. Look, once was a good player, once was a fantastic player for the Roosters and Knights at the time he was actually in the game. But, well, he's going to be like 35 or 30-something like years old next year, like even older than what he is now. So I don't think he's going to work out if he comes back to the game. Might be good for some experience maybe, or just some game time in New South Wales Cup for a NRL club. But honestly, he's not a first grader in the NRL anymore. I don't think he's got anything to offer, in my opinion anyway. And since the last time he did play in the NRL, I think the game has just changed yet again. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he would be a club's first starting halfback, that's for sure, like first choice.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised to hear that, bro. I'm actually quite stunned. I thought you would have, I thought you would have been more than bloody happy to see him back.
I don't know. His age will get to him, I think.
Well, I just Googled it. Pearce is 34 years old. The positive about that is, 1, he'd bring experience. 2, he hasn't had a lot of injuries over in France, so he's hasn't had a lot of bad injuries. I don't know. It'd be interesting. What do you reckon, CJ?
He'll come over as a mentor, I think. Ironically, he'll probably go to the Bulldogs or he'll go to the West Tigers if he comes back. Just as a mentor to, lead the younger kids on. He'll sign a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, and, to retirement. I don't know if I like it, but I guess it'd be good to see him end his time in the NRL where it first started. But I can't see him being an 80-minute halfback. He'll probably just be that, just a mentor to just develop the young kids at whatever club he goes to. I think that's his role, and he's doing well at Catalans, but yeah, the NRL is a bit more intense for someone his age.
Well, you know what? I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think it'd be great. I really do.
Yeah, for a year.
He's 34 years old. I understand he's getting older. Mentor role is definitely what he would do.
Yeah.
There's a few clubs that could use someone like Mitchell Pearce at the moment. The Dragons are probably one. The Tigers, the Bulldogs. Who else? The Raiders could use another half now with obviously White departing the Canberra Raiders. Maybe the Dolphins. There's a few clubs around that could definitely use his service. But I think his best option would be to sign with the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs need a halfback. They haven't got one. Flanagan will probably get moved on after this year. They've got that young Kyle Alawapu kid coming through.
He'll develop.
You know what? I reckon Pearce going to the Bulldogs to play alongside Matt Burton and Reid Marnie would be a great thing for the Bulldogs. And I think if I've had my opinion on Kyle Awapu. I don't really believe in the kid yet. I think he's very overhyped, and I don't really like the kid. I dislike him. Obviously, that may change over the years, but Mitchell Pearce to mentor young Kyle Alawapu would be, I think, a phenomenal thing for Kyle Alawapu's development. It would help his game management, and I think it'd be good for him. I really do. I think Pearcey going to the Bulldogs for a year or two couldn't hurt. I really don't think it'd be a bad thing.
Yeah, just be there to mentor. I don't think he'll play 80 minutes, but if he does go to the Bulldogs, he'll just be there for the year and probably just kind of a bit like a Benji Marshall at South sort of role.
Exactly.
Yep.
And bro, you know what? I'll say this as well. If the Bulldogs had a genuine halfback right now, they would definitely be in the top 8. That's all they're lacking is a good halfback.
It wouldn't make sense though if he went to the Bulldogs because they've already got Josh Reynolds there. So why would you have another older bloke who plays in the halves alongside Reynolds for like if you want like a halfback that can or someone that can at least be the mentor? I think Reynolds is playing that role at the moment. So I don't think Pearce.
Yeah, but he's like a 5'8" though, Reynolds. 5'8" hooker. He's not really playing halfback.
But he's a mentor, so you got him as well. If Pearce is there,
I think Pearce could teach him a lot about game management, when to go for the trick shot, when to play structured football. Reynolds, I think, is a bit more of a player that plays on the cup.
I think a club that I wouldn't say they necessarily need a halfback, but for some reason I could see Mitchell Pearce ending back up at the Roosters.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It annoys me to say it as well.
It's the one team I didn't want to hear.
Believe me, I didn't want to say it as well, but it just feels like you could end up back there for that one more year and
God, I hope
play
not.
a few
Anyone but
games.
the fucking Roosters. For fuck's sake.
But yeah, like I said, I think he'll end up at either the Tigers, the Dogs, or probably the Roosters in some sort of capacity.
Mate, if he ends up with the fucking Roosters, that's just going to shit me right off.
it could happen.
Well, honestly, don't be too surprised if it happens.
They can't afford him. They just can't.
Well, they can because they don't got a cap. But...
Oh, someone check that cap for fuck's sake. Anyway, let's move on. Topic number 1, boys. Boys, honestly,
what is this?
What is wrong with fucking Parramatta?
A lot.
Where's this fucking thing?
Lot.
There it is. Topic number 1. What is wrong with Parramatta? Boys,
a lot.
What is wrong with these guys? They're going so shit.
Tell you what, the grand finals drained them. They've fallen to the grand final curse, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like it. Bro, Josh Hodgson, I love him. Great career. One of the best hookers to come over and play in Australia. Hodgson, I love him, but he ever goes back to the bench or he looks at retirement, bro. He's not the same player he once was.
Nope. He's wash made, and Brendan Hands needs to be that starting hooker. I don't care where they put Hodgson. I think Hodgson's a liability signing. Most of their players aren't really doing anything. Their style of play is pretty boring and slow. I think they're predictable. And I just feel like they're really missing the losses of last year.
Parramatta defensively as well, very ordinary. ProEnzo, what do you think about Parramatta? What is wrong with them?
I don't know. It's a tough one because they were not long ago a very, I guess, competitive team. That was like last year, but I think now with them it's just, I think the grand final hungover may have got to them, but yeah, losing Marnie, who was one of their best hookers that they've had in a long time, I think would have hurt them. And signing Hodgson, who obviously is a great player, but I don't think he's at that stage anymore where he was considered world class. Obviously, the ACL injuries he's gotten over the years have slowed him down as a player. So, I think he has been a failure signing so far. But I don't know. I think they've gone backwards as a club. I think they've struggled to, I guess, be mentally prepared for games week in, week out because of the grand final last year. So I think it's just taken a mental toll on the whole team. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one with Parramatta. Haven't been good at all.
I'd love to know what they see in Andrew Davey in the back row. You've got someone on the bench by the name of Ryan Madison. Why is Ryan Madison on all this money, 600, 700,000 a season? Why is he coming off the bench every week? And
He was a beast
starting.
off the bench, bro. He was a beast.
Should be starting.
It's a weird signing, Davey.
You don't pay Ryan Madison $700,000 a season to come off the bench.
Probably, I think something to do with his injury or something, I believe, anyway.
I don't know what they see in Andrew Davey. I don't know what they see in, what's his name, Dunster. Look, I like their backline. Gullison's a gun. Sevo's a good player on his
That's
day.
positive.
Simonson's been pretty good for him the last couple of weeks. Penasini's very hot and cold, but I guess you get that with young kids. And Dunster, I don't really know what they're saying.
Cold as well, I reckon.
I'd like to see Sean Russell get more game time. Maybe even Isaac Lumi. Bro, he played a couple of games. He did well.
Yeah. That's why they're struggling, because they're not playing him. That's why they're struggling. You got to play him. You change the whole club. You change the whole club.
Yeah, and obviously at the moment without Regan Campbell-Gillard, they're not the same team. And you know what? I reckon they're a boring team to watch, boys. I said this, I think it was the game before the Broncos game or the Knights game. I said they are so boring. They're so hard to watch. And I stand by it, that they are ordinary.
I think for some reason, every round this year of Parramatta, they're halves. One decides to play well and the other decides to be quiet. And then it switches over week by week. That's an issue.
They're both very inconsistent at the moment. Look, they're 4 and 6. They could easily sneak into the top 8, but
they're not a title threat.
They're definitely not a contender at all.
No.
I've got a really bold call right here.
Yeah, righto. Go on.
We're going into round 11 of the NRL, and I know a lot can change, a lot can turn around. But I'm going to go off early, and I'm going to go on record right now and say on the Rugby Breakdown podcast, episode number 86, that I, Nick from Australia, I have officially put the red pen through the Parramatta Eels. They will not play finals football in season 2023. They are.
That's a big one, mate, considering how close the season is. But
goodbye, Parramatta. Nah, red pen. Gone.
Hope so.
I'm not writing them off yet. I'm going to give them another
I'm done.
3-4 weeks. But
they're going to get smashed by Canberra this weekend. Moses ain't playing, so they're pretty much fucked. And remember this. Last year's semi-final, Parramatta gave it to Canberra. This is Canberra's first game since that semi-final. Canberra will be up for this like it's a grand final. They will want revenge from losing that semi-final last year. Canberra will treat this as a fucking grand final. Canberra, they're gonna be up this weekend.
Para got a couple of tough weeks ahead. They got Canberra this week, and then they got South at Allianz for Indigenous round.
Oh yeah, good luck.
And honestly, I don't know who else they have after that, but I'm assuming it's teams in front of them. To Cowboys at Combank, right?
I might go to that game. I'm gonna try my best.
Yeah, and then I don't know who they got after that, but those three alone, pretty tough.
I'm done with them. I reckon they're gone, boys.
Yeah, fair enough. I reckon.
All right, let's move on. It's time.
Oh, here we go.
It is time for the Breakdown Podcast Game Show. Fellas, this is going to be good.
Always
I'm just going to change the texture because it's very annoying. I can't even see CJ. No, that one's shit. What's the other one? Yeah, that'll do. It's better.
Yeah, it's the normal.
Breakdown Podcast Game Show. Tonight, CJ MOXLEY goes up against ProEnzo Vidz. This is going to be fantastic.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Last week, me and ProEnzo had a cracker.
Yeah, that was great. That was
Not at my
great.
house. How good was that?
That's right.
Now the odds via NickBet. ProEnzo is the favourite, $3.
Ooh,
CJ Moxley at $8. Good value for
$8.
CJ. $8, boys. Very
Yep,
good
if you
value. I
believe
mean,
in
you
me,
chuck $3 on
definitely.
CJ, you win yourself $24.
It
So
should be closer, I
good
reckon.
value. What's that?
Yeah, we go.
It should be closer, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Barbara from NickBet this afternoon, and
Fucking Barbara.
Barbara has a personal vendetta against CJ at the moment, saying that
Well, fuck
his
you,
knowledge
Barbara.
ain't good, and he's gone out to $8. So you can't argue with Barbara, and if you do, it's just going to be a big
Well,
argument.
fuck Barbara, that stupid 1970s cunt anyway.
Fuck Barbara. All right.
Fuck Barbara.
Right. Well, let's get into the game, shall we? Now, everyone in the live chat, you know the rules. If you don't know the rules, basically, it's first one to get to 3 points. If you reveal the answers to the questions in the live chat, you will be banned for 5 minutes. And if you do it again, you will just simply be blocked. So do not reveal the answers to the questions in the live chat. If you do, you will be blocked. So you've all been warned. You've all been warned. But all right, boys, are we ready?
Yep.
I am ready.
Right, let's go. Fellas, last time the Storm and Broncos played in Amy Park in Melbourne was last year. The score of the game was Melbourne Storm 32, Broncos what?
16.
Incorrect. And who the hell was first?
Oh, it's a 16.
Okay, what'd you say, CJ?
I said 16 as well.
All right, incorrect. Lorenzo, what do you reckon?
20.
Fuck, correct.
Yes.
Ooh. I thought it was a bit
It
of
was
I thought it was a
32
blowout.
20. It was round 15, 2022. Melbourne Storm 32, Broncos 20. Good start for ProEnzo Vidz. Good start. Just a moment, we're having a fucking connection problem. Oh, there we go.
Probably.
Righto.
Lawn out here.
Righto. Ready?
Yep.
Next question. Fellas, this weekend, it is the Cowboys versus the Dragons. Last time these sides played in Townsville, it was Cowboys 31, Dragons what?
24.
Incorrect. Lorenzo.
10.
Incorrect. CJ.
31-6.
Incorrect. ProEnzo.
12.
Correct.
Oh, 31-12.
What a start. ProEnzo's on a roll.
Bro, when even was that? I forgot that game even existed.
2-0. That game last year was in round 14. Friday night footy. Cowboys 31-12 over the Dragons.
Oh, yeah, that game. That's right.
All right, next question. Righto. We're going to go to a NRL round fixture. Here we go. We're going to go to round 23. Fellas, in round 23 of the NRL, who do the Gold Coast Titans play that weekend?
The Cowboys.
Incorrect.
Broncos.
Incorrect.
Let me guess. They have to buy.
Incorrect.
Oh, no.
Canberra.
Incorrect. CJ.
The Parramatta Eels.
Incorrect.
No.
ProEnzo.
Warriors.
Correct. That's it.
I've been swept.
3-0.
I've been
It's been a long time since I've done that.
Fuck, Moxley got swept.
Sorry, guys. I've been swept 3-0.
Oh,
The people in the
it is
live
what
chat
it is,
not
good
happy.
game.
GG, ProEnzo. Oh, these two
Good game.
guys.
Holy
I've been
shit.
swept.
Fuck,
I need
3-0.
I need a result like that.
I'm going to be
ProEnzo just smashed Moxley. Holy fuck.
with Jack White in effect.
It's about time to get a result like that.
affecting. That's why CJ is losing.
Yeah, sorry guys, that CJ couldn't win. Sorry guys.
All
Everyone's
right.
fans.
I need to go to the live chat because Cody sent a donation, I believe.
Oh, did it?
He did before. If I can find it. I can't find it now. Great.
Well, my Instagram DMs are going to be like, why'd you get swept?
Cody Kane's PlayStation, thank you for the $10, by the way, bro. I think it was something about, it was great meeting you at Magic Crown or something, but thank you for the $10, Cody.
Someone
boys.
says ProEnzo needs to retire. I can't see who it is because my phone's fucking.
Let's go to the NRL Round 11 preview before we go. We're going to go through our tips for the weekend. So, boys, what we'll do this week, we'll make it a little bit different. I'll just ask you, who do you think will win? You know,
Yeah,
I don't care about first try scorers or margins. We'll just go head to head. Who's going to win? So, round 11 of the NRL kicks off tomorrow night, 7:50 in Melbourne. We've got the Storm and the Broncos. Who do you like in this one, boys?
I've got the Broncos 1-12.
Broncos. CJ.
Yep, big game. Looking forward to it. Broncos 1-12.
I'm going to go Melbourne 1-12. I think Melbourne are going to win. I don't know. I think Melbourne just. It'll be a tight game, though. Friday night, 6 o'clock at a cool stadium. Bulldogs versus Warriors. This is a real toss-the-coin game, isn't it, Lorenzo?
Dogs 1-12 I've got.
Nice. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with Lorenzo again. Dogs 1-12.
I'm going the Warriors. I'm not confident, but I'm going to go the Warriors 1-12. Friday night, the main event game. Panthers Roosters out at Penrith.
Penrith 1-12.
Yeah, what about you, CJ?
Yep, I agree again. Penrith 1-12.
I'm going the Roosters. Roosters are my specials of the weekend. Roosters 1-12.
Opposite so far.
Moxley doesn't look happy about hearing that.
No, fucking Roosters.
Saturday, 3 o'clock, also at a core stadium. South Sydney versus West Tigers. Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, South 13 plus, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll be there. Vero's up for it, but I'll go South 20 plus.
Yeah, I'm going South 20, 25 plus. They'll win easy. Saturday night, 5:30 up in Townsville. Cowboys versus the Dragons. Go you, Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys 13 plus.
Yeah, I like it. CJ?
Yep. Cowboys 13 plus. Dragons are a lost cause.
Yeah, Cowboys will win 13 plus. I think after last week's win against the Roosters, I think Magic Round might be our turning point and get our season going. This might be a game where we get our for and against right up. But we'll see.
It'll help. It'll be a big help.
It would definitely help. Saturday night, 7:30, live from Canberra. I reckon it'll be nice and bloody cold. Raiders versus Eels. No Moses from the Eels.
I reckon Canberra 1-12.
CJ?
Yep, Raiders 1-12. Moses is a big loss.
I'm going Canberra 1-12 as well, but 13 plus is tempting. But I'll go Canberra 1-12. Sunday footy, 2 o'clock, live from Newcastle, McDonald Jones Stadium. Knights versus Titans. This is another tough one to pick.
Got the Gold Coast 1-12 actually.
Yeah, okay. CJ?
Yeah, I found it tough tipping. I'll go Knights 1-12.
I'll go Newcastle 1-12. I think home ground advantage will split them, and I think Newcastle will get the job done. It'll be a tight game though. And last game Sunday, 4 o'clock from Brookie, Manly Cronulla, Battle of the Beaches. ProEnzo, we all know you're going to back Manly. Yeah?
No, Sharks 13 plus.
Fuck. That's not good. Last time you ripped Manly off, bro, they won. Remember against Melbourne?
Yeah, it could be reverse
if I do that
psychology.
again, I don't know.
It might be an omen to jump on bloody Manly.
It could be reverse psychology.
Manly might be an omen now that Lorenzo's doing it again, going against them.
I hope so.
What about you, CJ?
I was actually on Cronulla all week till Tuesday morning. I just have a feeling Manly 1-12.
This is hard for me because I know the Sharks have got a terrible record at Brookie, and I know they've only won there like once in the last 10 years or something. I'm going to go Cronulla. Just 1-12. It'll be a close game. So.
Rivalry game. Both teams will be up.
Yeah, the Battle of the Beaches. How good.
Yeah.
How bloody good.
You
Big
think
rivalry game.
anyway?
All right. Well, ProEnzo, Vidz, and CJ, boys, episode 86 of the podcast has been outstanding. And thanks again for a great show, boys. It's been great fun.
Yeah, too easy. Great show. Thank you very much again.
No worries.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. And can't wait for the next episode.
No worries,
show.
boys. Well, looking forward to next week. Episode 87 should be another great show next week. Guys, thank you all for tuning in to the Rugby Breakdown podcast, episode number 86. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live stream of the, what are we doing? Melbourne versus Brisbane tomorrow night. Anyway, guys, until next time, take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.